Hello everybody, my name is Solution and welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about basically I'm going to be mixing talking drum actually. Yeah, the mix along session for today is on talking drum, Africa's talking drum, or should I say Nigerian talking drum to be specific. Now one thing you need to know is that every talking drum there are diverse talking drums and in terms of sizes so there's something called the Iyailu in Yoruba, that is in Nigeria. Yeah, Iyailu, it's a very big talking drum. You don't That's one doesn't go typical. The smaller talking drums are held under the armpit, basically under the armpit to play. For the Iyailu, it is big. You don't hold it under the armpit. It's something that goes towards your waist. So it's just there's a rope that hangs that you use to hang it around your arm. Basically, so it's a bigger kind of drum. So it's also a talking drum actually, but it's a bigger one. So it's called the Iyailu, that is the mother of drums. So moving on, what I'm mixing actually is the smaller talking drum, and even those two also have their own sizes. But let's go. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So for me, personally, when mixing talking drum, I prefer to start with a gate. I prefer to start with a gate. Typically, that is just me. And usually I'll be using fab filter for this process. So I'm going to start with my pro gate. So listen to it first. Let's turn this guy off and you listen to it. Now, while applying my gate, my aim here right now is I just want to these dunes and also this was not a clear recording. This was recording from a session, so it's not a clear recording. So I'm just trying to like isolate just the talking drum alone as much as possible before diving into compression and EQ. Mind you, process I'm using is just EQ compression, then EQ and compression, then gates. Yeah, so now one thing about talking drum is that it is kind of an expressive drum. So when dealing with in terms of your threshold positioning, it can't be too tight. It can't be too tight because listen to this right without the gate right now. So yeah, so and again, talking drum is basically actually talking drum. That's just it. In Yoruba, it is called gangan, or yes, some other language call it dundun. So talking drum in English translation is talking drum, that is a drum that talks. So if you are treating it, you have to treat it kind of the way you treat your vocals too, except you're not using autotune. So my gate is currently cutting away some of the expressiveness of the talking drum. So I won't take care of that. So first of all, I'm going to drop the threshold. Free it up. Sorry. Now one day fast active. Yeah, a very fast attack and a slow release too. Just I think 100 ms works well for me. I'm going to hold the gates down a bit. So even without this, even when I turn it back on, good. So next thing now, I'm gonna go into my compressor. Yeah, actually for me, yeah, compressor first. Then yeah, just I'm gonna use a tunnel compressor. That's my Pro C2. Then let's go at it. Okay, honestly for me, right here I'm leaving this. I want to leave this ratio the way it is, but my ratio, I'm bringing my ratio to a ratio of 2, around 2. Yeah, that is good. Leaving my fast attack to with a slow release. I want it to have this kind of dum 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 dum. But I want it to also be released naturally, so I'm going to have to make this a bit faster. Okay, let's move it up a bit. Okay, then I'm going to have to hold it a bit. Just increase the hold. Nothing too much. Around 20 is okay. So you see this place here where my arrow is. That's what the hold is doing for me there. So when that hold is just making it sharp. Those sharp points, they are seeing here. Once they meet the threshold, it holds. That's the function of this hold here. It just drags it down, like holds that note for 20.22 ms. So if I decide to hold it longer and I play, see, but I'm not doing that. I don't need that much of a hold over this. Okay, that's for this. Now I'm going to be adding an equalizer. So equalizer, that'll be the Pro Q3. Now for EQ, I've said this before in my previous videos. Listen and work it to your taste. Actually, it's not work it to your taste. So my own preference method while doing this is always to boost first to find those resonant sounds that don't sound well for that particular instrument. So every instrument is different. So I try to find those frequencies that don't sound great on that particular instrument. Then I deep them, which is what I'm going to be doing here. So let's go. Yeah, like here. This works a bit. Oh yeah. 600 hertz. I don't want to be too fat. So let's do something. Hertz. So I'm just going to do an invert the gain over here. But this is too much, so I mean, talking drum is actually not hard to mix. You just need to get, and when you're mixing talking drum, for talking drum, usually you are working on dipping the mids and boosting the lows and highs, similar to actually how you mix your kick. So this place is boxy. I'm not boosting it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a bit of bite. Then I'm going to just cut a bit of cut the lows here. So slope 48 dB. Okay, so I'm going to add another compressor over it, but this time I'm just going for something not something not tonal. So I'm going to just go for the LAL. So peak reduction, let's do -2. So I want to try something. I feel my gate is actually being too active right now. actually is getting too active actually. So okay, so I'm gonna just, yeah, range. Okay, and that is that. This is good. This is good. So moving on, yeah, there's one last now to say. So if you find yourself mixing a talking drum into a full mix, what I just did here is just to mix the talking drum alone. If you find yourself mixing a talking drum into like a full mix, whether a full band or a percussive instrument, talking drums don't stay at the center. Yeah, they don't stay at the center in terms of panning. They're not at the center. Uh, Majorly, I pan them to the left. Actually, I pan them to the left. That way, you have your space for your bass guitar and your kick at the center. Your bass guitar, your kick drum at the center, occupying the center. While talking drums are just by the left. By the left. That's what I typically do. So in the case then, yeah, in the case you have more than one talking drum, let's say you have two talking drums. It depends on what they're actually playing, but for me to the standard rule I follow is to point both of them to the left. Now, how much pan to the left now differs? They differ. But whenever you have two talking drums playing, one talking drum is usually leading while the other one just accompanies, basically. So no matter what they are playing, both of them accompany each other and they flow together. It's only if you have bad talking drummers playing that you have issue in the mix. In other words, there won't be really clarity after you pan it. But if they are playing, if they are good talking drummers and they are playing well, they're doing what they're actually supposed to do, then you won't have an issue. Even if you pan both of them to the exact degree left. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.